today we will be talking quickly about the MPC decision. We'll talk about the rate cuts. We'll also look at what companies are going to do well automatically because of the rate cuts, number one. We will also look at what is happening with US and a little bit of US stocks and what's going on. So we will quickly check upon all of that today as well. And then we will take a quick round of question and answers. And then we will call it a night. Okay. Awesome. Chalo, let's go. Let's quickly begin. So first things first, I think all of you guys saw this, that we got the beautiful rate cut, which we have been expecting from a very long period of time. Honestly, I thought it should have come around Feb, March itself, but Feb, March, we were going through some other problems. Actually, we've been going through a lot of problems constantly. September, say we had the FII guys running away from the market. Then we said, okay, finally, sab theek ho gaya, everything's come back to normal. And then Jan, Feb, mein apna Trump sahab came and gave me his tariff list. And then obviously India took a massive hit. And I still remember index hit lower circuit that day. Both Nifty and small cap both hit lower circuit. Oof, horrifying days. And then we said, okay, chalo, now everything is fine. The tariff also has been absorbed, and Trump put a 90-day pause on the tariff system. And we said, awesome, let's go. And then suddenly the Indo-Pak war tension started coming in. I mean, everything happens for a reason, honestly, if I say, because everything has given us a very good positive. If you look at only the negatives, then we will be negative. But I feel a lot of positives have come out. Because if you look at the September FII sell-off, the positive of that is that the DIIs now own more in the Indian market than the FIIs, which is the domestic institution investors. So that is a positive. The whole Trump tariff situation made us realize that we need to be more self-reliant, and we also hold a lot of bargaining power. And that is something that, again, did really well for us. When we spoke about the Indo-Pak, I know it was really bad. The war is not a very great thing, but it also made us realize a lot of things with respect to our defense arsenal. And it also gave a chance for the world to see what we have, like the BrahMos missile, which is actually now getting a lot of international orders as well for some of our defense equipment, right? So as I said, even though so many things happened, continuously bad, I think good things also came in. Now, we have a similar issue that you guys have noticed. Have you seen this issue of China rare earth curbing? Have you heard about this? You might have come across it. I know most of you guys don't know about it, or maybe don't have an idea about it. But so China basically is again playing a strong arm game, right? What is strong arm game? China is too powerful. Bahut power hai China ke paas. So they are saying that you guys are doing too much ungli to me, mainly to US, and they're saying, agar tum log ne zyada kiya, if you do too much, problems with me, then I will start banning rare earth exports that they have, right? Minerals and all of that. And China is one of the largest producers after US. So China is one of the largest producers by far. Okay. And what happens if they stop this? It will affect everything. For example, it will affect automakers, it will affect aerospace manufacturers, semiconductor companies, military contractors. It will affect almost every single thing in the world. And even European companies are already having problems, because if you see, some auto parts plants have suspended output, and Mercedes-Benz is now considering ways to protect against shortages. So China is definitely creating an issue. And I think immediately, I think today or yesterday, there was a news article that came out that India has now told its companies to start working on finding or excavating more rare earth minerals, and they are also going to support it with PLI. So this is something, again, negative and positive. So whenever China is doing something weird, India tries to step up and do something in the similar space, so we can take as many things over here. But there is also a very weird, I don't know what is this, but there is a very weird correlation happening. Tell me one thing, if this rare earth minerals gets screwed up, the biggest immediate impact is going to be in the automotive sector. Do you agree? The biggest immediate impact is going to be in the automotive sector. And automotive companies will not be able to come out with their products and meet the delivery timelines. And because of that, the price of these products will also shoot up. As you've heard, raw material prices will go up because demand supply imbalance will happen. And all the countries in the world will suffer from this except China. And weirdly, I don't know if you guys heard this news, but did you guys hear this news that 1 week ago, BYD said that they're going to do a massive discount in their EV car price? Did you guys hear about this? Yeah. 1 week ago, before this entire rare earth minerals wo to chal hi raha tha, but very weirdly they came 1 week ago and said they're going to slash the price of EV vehicles, and now they're going to make it so competitive that they will destroy the market. Now think about this. If China restricts the supply of rare earth minerals, automatically all automakers, auto parts companies will have to increase their prices, making EVs slightly more expensive. And at the same time, the largest EV manufacturer in the world right now, which is BYD, is reducing their prices in a very weird way to corner the entire market. And please understand, EV today is a car making company, tomorrow will be a software based company, right? Because everything you see tomorrow will come under a subscription model when it comes to EV. So it is very weird that the timing of this was absolutely in tandem with each other, right? So this is something we will get a little more deeper into later. But let's look at India for now, right? So India, again, we had a very beautiful, what do you call that? We had a very beautiful rate cut that came up, and a lot of companies are going to start doing well. So let's quickly look at some companies that should do well, in my opinion. Right, so we'll go one by one into some companies. Again, guys, these companies are not buy or sell recommendation, and I'm not going to tell you whether to buy it or not. I'm just going to show you some interesting companies that will benefit from rate cuts. Now, before we go deeper into this, one question to all of you guys. If there is a rate cut, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys know already what a rate cut is, right? If there is a rate cut, that means cost of borrowing becomes cheaper. That means your loans become cheaper. What are the different things that will happen across the industry? Number one, cost of borrowing becomes less. Obviously, if I'm going to take a loan, it becomes less. So me as an individual, I am now more inclined to go buy a house right now at a lower interest rate versus buying it at a higher interest rate. So automatically you will see that real estate sales will start doing well. And whenever you see housing sector doing well, the proxy of housing, which is either your cement, either your wires, either your cables, ceramics, ACs, all of these companies start doing very well. And you have to think very clearly, right? Because when a housing sector does well, and when there are these concrete jungles that we keep calling are being created, it has a very beautiful cause and effect. Because if you think about this, have you noticed that across wherever you're staying, have you noticed that these new buildings are coming up with at least 200 floors, 200 flats to 300 flat buildings will come up? These are, if it's a standalone also, it is quite big. If it is bigger, it's even bigger. Like in Bangalore, there are communities coming up with 500 flats to 1000 flats coming up, right? Now, one real effect of this is, have you noticed that every time there is a flat that comes up, whether it's a 2 BHK or 3 BHK in India, if you are in the lower middle class, you will take at least one AC in the house. And if you are slightly higher, you will take two ACs. And if you're rich, you will have ACs in all rooms. Have you noticed this? Have you noticed this? So whenever there is a 500 flat apartment that comes up somewhere, or even a 100 flat apartment that comes up, you will always see this type of demand that suddenly gets spurred, local demand gets spurred, and all of these things happen, right? So definitely when the housing sector goes up, proxy of housing goes up really well, and that is something I really love. Apart from that, we look at companies. Companies can now do capex, which is capital expenditure, means they can spend more on their manufacturing plants, build it up much better. They can have more manufacturing plants, means they will employ more people and all of that, so that the sales go up even more. And now they can take it at a very cheap rate. They can actually do expansion at a cheaper rate as compared to doing it at a more expensive rate. So automatically banks will do well, and more than banks, NBFCs, which are these big lending houses, they usually tend to do well. So let's look at some companies one by one. See, definitely Polycab is a company that will definitely benefit from this entire rise. And if you look at it from a technical standpoint, yes, somebody mentioned in the comments, it is doing a cup and handle formation. Yeah, absolutely, yes, it is doing a cup and handle formation, and it is on the verge of a breakout over here. And then you automatically, the levels will start playing out automatically here, right? But Polycab has been a very good player in terms of fundamentals also. If you look at another company, KEI Industries, also poised to do really well, and you will see all of these companies are doing a nice turnaround. And these are all long-term companies, right? These are not 1 month, 1 week. Please understand this. These are long-term, and this entire rate cut cycle will go on for at least 2 years. And this is one of the best times for all of you guys to make money also if you're in a good job. But please ensure that you focus on upskilling yourself as well, right? We have Dixon. Now, remember I told you that the AC sales will go up, and electronic sales will go up, because every time you have a flat, you need a TV. Like for example, I have a TV there. Now, I only have one TV in the house, which is the hall, but I know some rich people that have TVs in every room, right? So I've not reached that point where I need a TV in every room, but yes, TV is there. And sales of TVs, washing machines, fridges, automatically all of these things will go up. So there is, again, as I said, cause and effect plays out here, right? So companies like Dixon and PGEL, who are currently sitting and manufacturing all of this, will automatically do well. Your companies selling these items, right? For example, your Aditya Vision, which is a very retail player, V2 Mart, which is a very retail player, they will also start doing slowly really well. Then we have consumption players like your Trent, right? Trent definitely is overvalued, or not overvalued, but too much of growth ratio has been priced in with respect to Trent. But again, if you see Trent, it is at a very crucial level. It is trying to break out from this nice resistance it currently has over here, which is 5,777. And it should, in my opinion, slowly break out, because it is going through a nice momentum, a positive momentum, and then it's 6,200, 7,300, 8,400, and an all-time high if it continues to go down on the same level. The only problem I feel with Trent is I feel Zudio as a brand, I think, is getting slightly saturated. But again, I don't know, right? I let the sales talk. I'm not an expert in Zudio, but I feel that the brand of Zudio is getting slightly saturated, right? So that might be an issue, not sure at all. And I will take some questions in the end, guys. Don't worry about it. I'm here only. Then we have your beautiful NBFCs. These are some NBFCs that will give you, and you see these have already given superb returns yesterday. For example, Muthoot Finance. Oof, Muthoot Finance. Look at this. So Muthoot Finance, by the way, is very predictable as a player. Look at this. It's a very predictable uncle, if you ask me. It always goes in this channel and it always dips here. It touches the 200-day moving average, goes up, takes a resistance there, comes down. So, but it has been definitely a multi-bagger. Muthoot is by no means not a multi-bagger player. It is a multi-bagger player, but it is a very predictable multi-bagger player. It doesn't deviate too much from its path. But yes, this company over the next 2 to 3 years should see significant rise in their sales and profits, right? Chola, again, another, I would say cousin of Muthoot, again in the similar space, again, very predictable chart patterns. This will also start doing really well. And you see all these companies went up yesterday, right? Like, for example, Muthoot went up 6%, Chola went up around 5%, Bajaj Holdings definitely quite stretched. It will come back to the mean, which is this blue line. But again, this is a wonderful company that will look good. Bajaj Housing Finance, after the IPO, it has only taken a beating because I think too much was baked in again. But this will be a massive wealth generator, because the housing finance space is going to do really well right now. Because if the rate cuts are happening, housing finance chahiye, house kharidne ke liye housing finance chahiye. So all your housing finance players will start doing well. And if the rate cuts also happen and consumption starts in India, people want to spend more, then if you look at companies like Bajaj Finance, they will start their growth again. Yes, it might not be the same growth that they did in the last 10 years, because there is a level of saturation that has reached and the companies have also come up in the circle. But I think this will start doing again really well. And I think I spoke about all of these companies. Again, I think in the members only, we had made a quick video on this, I think 4 days ago, before the MPC decision. I kind of knew that this would happen, and we would get into a slightly elevated run, and everyone was predicting a minus 50 bips. So we had literally discussed about this in the 7 stocks to watch, where we discussed all the NBFC players as well, right? So very, very interesting players if you look at it from an India standpoint. And I'm very excited for the next, if you ask me, I'm very excited for the next 2 years, because right now, if you're going to decrease the interest rate, the markets are going to look really attractive. I feel pocketed growth will be very nice. What do I mean by pocketed growth? There will be some parts of the ecosystem that will do really well. Yes, your defense is doing really well, and defense has now, because of the Indo-Pak war, there has been a new surge in defense, which is going to do well for maybe around another 1 to 2 years. Defense should do well. But all of these companies will also start doing really well. Only thing I'm not realizing is why railways has not caught up yet. Ideally, railways should have caught up and started coming up, but all these railway companies have got a little stagnant over time, right? Now, a couple of very interesting reports have also come out. This is a very recent report that has come out by Axis Securities. If you want this report, maybe let me know in the comment section below. I can share it a bit later. This just came out in June about the automobile industry. And they're talking about what is going to happen after all of these rate cuts and all of that. What is the sector outlook for two-wheelers, commercial vehicle, tractor, and passenger vehicles, and where the growth is coming on it? What are the companies? So their top conviction ideas in two-wheelers is Hero MotoCorp, in CV, commercial vehicles. it is Ashok Leyland, and for the personal vehicles or passenger vehicles, it is Mahindra and Mahindra, which is basically what they really like, right? But Tata Motors is still struggling, as you all know, from a lot of issues with their JLR. So that is again this report. I'll share it with the community members. Whoever's there, I'll share it with them. And where the growth is coming in, so the short-term growth and the long-term growth. This is, as you see very clearly, restrictions on rare earth minerals by China has become an issue for them, and increased competition from the SUV space. And again, here you'll see the demand coming up. So very, very, very interesting report. I think learning is something that all of us should be doing. I will share this to everyone in the community space. In fact, Sansera has just got into the aerospace industry as well. And I think just yesterday or day before, they won a big order to enter into the aerospace industry also. So a lot of things are happening in this space, right? And I want you guys to be very, ready for this entire growth cycle. Even here, if you look at Axis, they released another one called Bajaj Finance ka ek report. Isme they've said NIMs to find support in the rate cut cycle. So they've explained how much benefit this rate cut cycle will get them with the CRR and all of that getting adjusted. And they've also said why this company can do really well. And they've given the target, they've given the duration, which is just 3 to 6 months with a 10% upside. And the growth triggers are clearly playing out over here, right? And obviously there's key risk also. We have to look at both of this when we look at it. But I will share this with the community members so they can have a look at this as well. Got it? Now, let's quickly go into the US market. One second. Yeah, let's quickly go into the US market. Okay, just give me a sec. Let me just open it. Now, US market, have you heard of the Taco Man? Have you heard something known as the Taco Man? Or have you heard of this concept called taco in US? Very interesting concept of taco. The full form of taco is Trump always chickens out. That is the full form of Trump. Trump always chickens out. Because when they start, everyone was scared of Trump, honestly, because we said, we don't know what he's going to do. He's doing this Trump tariff and a lot of people can get affected and all of that. And we obviously got very scared and very affected by all of that. And then we slowly saw that all of these things did not get affected so much, because every time he came out with some rule, he kind of backtracked and went against the rule, right? And that is where we came to know that, this whole thing of taco thing came up at that point, and it was a very funny element as well. So this was a nice report come out by Jefferies just 2 days ago about the Taco Man and the decision time, right? And we'll see that he even tried doing a lot of these manipulation techniques with your what do you call that? He tried doing it with China. China did not care at all. And then he did the same thing with all the other players. India slightly did get a little worried, but I think we're trying to safeguard our own economy, honestly. But this again is a very, very nice report of what is happening in the entire space and about NVIDIA and all of that, right? So very, very, very superb Jefferies report about everything that's happening with the US market. And I think people have now realized that, boss, you are not going to scare India a lot, or you're not going to scare anyone in the world, honestly, if you really think about it, right? And this is something I feel they have now slowly realized, which they did not realize in the past. I think now they have slowly realized. And that is something that is slowly creeping up to them, honestly. The way I see it, it is slowly creeping up to them, right? Now, if you ask me about the US index, how many of you are actually investing in the US economy? I want to understand that. How many of you are actually investing in the US economy right now? Let me just share my screen again. Yeah, I want to know from your perspective, how many of you are actually investing in the US economy, right? So US was not doing well, obviously, because of this whole uncertainty that was going on. They were not doing very well. And now if you see, US has now come back into a slightly positive momentum, as you can see right now. Slightly positive momentum they have entered. And you can see that they have started doing really well, and the growth has come in. And they're very close to their all-time high. This was also mainly because the FAANG companies, which was your main drivers, chief economic drivers, they have started doing, let me make it white so it's easier for you to see. They have started doing really well. And because of that, I think things have started looking very good for the US economy as well. And this is playing out for them perfectly. And if you look at everyone of their, all the Meta and all of that, see, all of them have done a nice rally upwards. I am personally, as you guys know, invested in one company that I came out recently and spoke about at around 108 is where my buying price is, somewhere around here. And right now it's around $8 of profit. It's okay. I'm still waiting for it to go up. So hopefully it should go up and start creating new rallies. And also, if you remember, they recently had this problem with Elon Musk also having a massive problem there. And you see the entire Tesla shares actually went down quite drastically. You saw this? One of the biggest drops of Tesla came in, and now I think it's gone up a little bit, but the biggest drops of Tesla came in as well, which again creates a very shocking analogy of the whole war, internal conflict that is going on between USA and USA itself. And a lot of people who had bought Tesla are now creating or in a massive problem. But if you again really ask me, I think long term is okay, but short term I think there is definitely a small problem here, right? But again, I think it is okay, because if you look at the revenues, they were actually doing a slowdown. Like honestly, if you look at the revenues, there has been a slowdown happening in their revenues. It has not gone up quite drastically. Even their profits have started dipping a little bit. So not very, very bullish on them. In fact, AMD, the other company that I am invested in, is pretty okay. It is catching up. I would not say it is also in a great form, but it is slowly catching up, right? So small things like this will start getting affected in the market. So let's see. I really don't know what is the case here, but I think US market definitely needs a revival. And I know for a fact a lot of people are now getting bullish on the smaller companies. For example, who was that company called, man? Ellie and Lilly, your GLP companies have started doing really well. I think they are also doing extremely well slowly. Whereas Novo Nordisk is actually not doing well, which is the company that actually is very bullish on the GLP. So they are not doing well, but the other companies started doing well, like Ellie and Lilly are doing well. In fact, they are planning to enter the Indian market also. This, your GLP-1, Ozempic, your weight loss drug, they are also coming and entering the market very soon. Right? So very interesting on all of these fronts. Okay, chalo, let's do one thing. Let's quickly take a round of questions, and then we will continue this entire session. Okay, let's take some round of questions. Any doubts, any questions you have, let's take it up one by one, and we'll do the quick rundown and math on it. Okay, one sec. A good question by Akshat Jain, who is a member for 12 months. Akshat, again, thank you for being a member for 12 months. I think there are some setups in the following stocks: IDFC first, Ganesh Housing, HCC, and NCC. Can you just look at it very quickly? Sure. Let me just check it once. IDFC, Ganesh, HCC. NCC I know is good because NCC I'm also tracking. It is in a very nice upward trend. But I feel the movement kind of slowed down here. Again, it's consolidating, and only above a break of 240 would be a very good position. Right now, I think it's did a run up. It's consolidating, and it'll create an inside bar and then go up again. If you look at HCC, HCC is in a very nice momentum. Again, right at the support zone, resistance zone right here at 35. But if you see HCC, not just HCC, or even NBCC currently, I think is doing really well. See, as you can see, all of these stocks are currently on my absolute radar right now. Which was the other one? IDFC first. IDFC first, see, technically it gave a breakout again because of the rate cut and all of that. Fundamentally, I don't know what's going on with that company, honestly. I know that there are a lot of these problems going on with that company. So fundamentally, if you ask me, I really don't know about this company, but everything else seems pretty much okay, right? So yeah, I hope that answers your question a little bit. So thank you for the question. Let me take some more questions anyone has. Ayush, what do you think of Aptus Housing, Bajaj Housing is at 5 PB, which is quite more expensive now, but Aptus looks good. Any insight on it? So Ayush, if you saw my last video that I made, which was on what are FIIs buying? Did you guys watch that video? What are FIIs buying? Usme I had spoken about Aptus because there was a very big chunk of FII buying happening in Aptus. A lot of people are buying Aptus. It's not gone up yet. Ideally, it should have, because all the other companies have gone up and this has not gone up. So Aptus, there is a lot of FII buying happening. Triggers, I'm not sure yet. Whereas if you look at Bajaj Housing, yes, it is at a price to book of 5. That is why the stock has not gone up. Even though they're giving result after result after result, which is amazing, it has not gone up yet, right? So that is something that we need to definitely look at. What do you think of HDB IPO? Not tracked it yet. I'm not a big fan of IPO. If you really ask me now to invest in IPO, I would take a pass. I rather buy companies after the IPO falls down and then starts breaking out. In fact, that is actually a video I want to do. If you guys are okay with it, if you guys want me to do it, let me know. I want to create a video on 10 stocks which I have found in my trading journey right now, that are currently creating something known as an IPO base. IPO basis, it comes out with an IPO, falls down, come back to the start of the IPO where it is, and now it's going to create a breakout. So there are 10 companies that are actually doing a breakout now from their IPO base, which are very interesting companies. So if you want, let me know. I will create a video on that as well. What do you think of BSC and CDSL? Boss, BSC, so I'm waiting for it to come down thoda. I mean, look at this. Mr. BSC has gone to reach the moon, right? Chand pe chala gaya BSC. I'm also waiting for it to come down a little bit, and I'm like, bhai, thoda to niche aaja, let me invest in you. But it's not letting me invest. It is just flying, flying, flying. See, 10 years down the line, BSC is going to be a different behemoth. It's going to be crazy. Right now, it is just overextended to another level. CDSL, again, I feel fundamentally it is somewhat saturated. It will continue to grow, but not at the same growth rate of the past. If you really ask me, Vignesh, I think that is what I feel with CDSL, right? Guys, ask me one share. No, don't ask me like 10 shares. Yeah, it'll be difficult for me to take and answer 10 shares. Ek, one by one, pucho na. Have you given thought about your Telegram channel? Still thinking. I'll let you know. Again, I'm not going to give buy or sell recommendations. I don't have that logic in my mind. Just for market updates, I can create one, but I don't know if I'm still thinking. I don't know if it's really required for the people or not. Let's see. Do you give swing and FNO call to member community? If I'll join, if yes. No, man. Please don't put me in that category. I've never given buy or sell recommendation till date, and I don't plan on giving that until I get my SEBI registered license. And I don't do this F&O call, buy sell. अभी वो नहीं करता हूं मैं. उसके लिए अलग टेलीग्राम ग्रुप से जो स्कैम करते हैं वो मैं नहीं करता. I don't get into that. So please, my community is purely for investing and learning and understanding where the market is, how the market dynamics are changing. When do we know that the market is overvalued? When do we know the market is now primed to invest? So that is what I do in the community, and I talk a lot about my personal investing journey as well. So if you want to learn that, you can definitely learn. Yeah. How would the market be affected if US goes into a recession? Definitely it'll be affected. Now, why won't it be affected? If market goes into a recession, obviously all of us will be affected. So definitely there will be an effect, and mainly your financial services sector will go down, your consumption will go down. TCS will lay off 100 to 1,000 people, they will lay off. Because if US goes into a recession, IT services industry gets affected the most, and they will lay off first. And if they lay off, your entire IT crowd, which is the cream of Indian white collar business people, all gone. Taxes will reduce, a lot of problems will happen. नहीं चाहिए बॉस. Okay. What else? Yes, this is a nice question. What is your view on federal bank? Seems like the management change. Yes, even I'm little happy on this, and a little bullish and happy on this, because federal bank is doing really well, both from a fundamental level, both from a technical level. It is doing well. So I'm also keeping an eye out on it. I have not invested in federal bank. Please understand, and whenever I invest, I'll tell you what I'm invested in and I'm not. But more from a revenue perspective, yearly, and profit perspective yearly, you can see that now a trend has picked up, right? And more than federal bank, I am also looking at their step down subsidiary, which is in the smaller lending space. I'm looking at that also. So both of this is what I'm looking at. Yes, Bajaj Finance split is happening, Harshit, aware of that. Very good, and a bonus also is happening at the same time. So that is also very interesting, right? MCX, no view, man. It's good, Sunil. MCX is not bad at all. It is good. But again, it's a very long-term game and very subject to government regulatory changes. So if there is any change in the government regulatory standpoint, it definitely creates an issue. Yeah. One sec. Let me just take another question. Akshat is asking another question. What about Ganesh Housing from technical standpoint? Let me check. Ganesh Housing comes under the affordable housing space and all of that. No, man. Nothing great about the technical aspect. What do you think? What do you see great here? I don't see anything great here. There's no momentum. It's flat. There is no volume spike. There is no episodic pivot. There is nothing here. I don't see anything great coming from this, honestly, right now. Yeah. What do you think of Geofinance? Honestly, Chetan, I'm also waiting to understand what Geofinance is. Even I don't know what Geofinance is. What is your POV on Varun Beverages? I am still bullish, man. I still hold the company. I'm not going to sell for some small deviation here and there. Right now, it is currently here. As you can see, I've made my entry zones and exit zones. I'm not worried so much about it because I know the next result is going to be a 20% growth rate. The next quarter result will be good. And then the share price will go up again. सब पता है मेरे को. I am not looking, and there's nothing fundamentally that's changed with this company right now. So not very bearish on it as of now. Still bullish on it. And boss, you have to also understand that I'm not a very what do you call that, small term player, right? I play slightly longer term. I have my trading alag se, but my long term portfolios are different. And you've seen me holding these companies for the last 4 or 5 months. I'm not wavered through it. I held it when it was minus 33%, and I'm holding it now when it's minus 10%. And eventually I know it will become profitable and slowly go up also. So I'm not too worried about it, honestly, if you ask me. Why are DIIs and FIIs decreasing their shareholding in KPI Green? Very good question by Sriram Veni Shetty. Does anyone have a similar question on this KPI Green? Now, please understand, if you look at KPI Green, there are two ways of growing. One is you take loan and grow. The other is if you take money from your internal profits and grow. But KPI Green is doing point number 3. Farooq Bhai Patel is doing point number 3, where he is taking money from private investors in the form of QIP, qualified institutional placement, and diluting stake. Now, when you keep diluting stake, it is not good for existing shareholders. So your DIIs and FIIs are like, boss, we cannot have a company that is growing while diluting stake. It makes no sense for us. So that is why they are currently reducing their stake quite drastically. Yeah. What else? What do you think of KPIT? KPIT, no changes in. See, I'll tell you what. KPIT, see, definitely had a problem. It did a bounce back. It had a problem again, and now, if you see the entire automotive sector, I feel again there's going to be a problem with the automotive sector. And if you look at KPIT, their majority of customers come from Europe and Asia. Okay, Europe and Asia. They have very few in North America. And if you look at Europe and Asia, both, as I showed you that China article, mainly over here, BMW is also suffering, Mercedes is also suffering, and this is going to start slowly creating an impact for KPIT Tech. So even though my long-term theme is intact, I feel short-term there is going to be heavy volatility in this company, and it is going to create a lot of patience or testing game for all of you guys as well, right? Is this the right time to invest in railway stocks? I'm also wondering that only. I'm like, why is the railway stock not going up? I know defense pura budget chala gaya udhar, but railway kyun nahi ja raha hai, boss? Railways should also go up, na? That is not going up. Even I am asking the exact same question. Why railway isn't going up yet? What is the trigger? I thought there were 2-3 big orders coming in. वो भी नहीं आ रहा है, मतलब क्या चल रहा है? So again, that is a question that I want to ask as well. Guys, by the way, before we take the next question, can you guys please click on that like button? I've been seeing that the like is only 15 likes. I know we love this session and we are very engrossed in it. Take 30-second breather for all the people who have never subscribed to my channel. Please subscribe, because we do this almost every week where we come and discuss the market. So acha knowledge milega free of cost for you. And you can also click on that like button if you really like it, because I know you might not like me, but you can at least like the content that is being given right here, which makes it nice. Okay, thank you very much. Let's go. Let's go ahead. Maza aata hai aisa. I like sitting and Bajaj housing, I've already said. I like sitting and doing all this. Okay. Any other question? Let's take 2 more questions. Yeah. Let's take 2 more questions. What do you think of the FMCG sector? So FMCG sector, na, very interesting, because recently there was again another very interesting report by Axis Bank. Let me show you this. Again, another report by Axis Bank in June, and their top conviction bet was FMCG. Now, why their top conviction bet was FMCG is because they are now talking about a revival, because FMCG was not doing great because the consumption was slow. Remember, all the FMCG companies came and said consumption is low. We're seeing urban slowdown. We are seeing rural slowdown. And right now, if your interest rate cuts happen and consumption starts coming back in again, FMCGs, which are currently sitting at a low, will have a better risk reward ratio coming into the picture. So this was the biggest problems. And now we are saying that how is this going to come back? And when is it going to come back? So companies have highlighted that volume recovery is likely to be seen in the next 1 to 2 quarters. Not now, next 1 to 2 quarters, and pickup is expected only in the second half of FY26 on account of easing inflation, interest rate cut, above normal monsoon outlook, and all of that, right? And if you look at the short term and long term triggers, as they call it, in the medium term, in the short term, volume recovery is still happening, which is giving me a margin of safety, because all your FMCG companies are currently down. And over a period of time, everything is going to pick up, and that they're saying 2 more quarters away. After 2 quarters, these will start picking up as well. And they've also given 2 picks. Again, one is Varun Beverages at a 650 target, even though it's going down. All of you guys are saying it's going down. It is going down, but people are still giving buy ratings. And the second one is DOMS Industry. Very interesting. You should, if you have not read about DOMS, you should definitely go read about DOMS. Very, very, very interesting company. This is as well. You should go read about it. Makes diapers. It was making pencils and stationery, pivoted to diapers, now going into a full FMCG play. Very, very, very interesting company. Yeah. Let's take one last question by Ankur Srivastava. Ankur, Shashank, sectors you are going to focus on for the next 2-3 years. See, Ankur, if you ask me what are the favorable sectors, I'll give you a different answer. What I currently own, I'm not going to change them, right? But favorable sectors for the next 2-3 years are going to be your NBFCs, are going to be your housing proxy. I believe auto ancillary will do well. I think this China earth metal is a temporary issue, not a permanent issue. It cannot ever be a permanent issue because then the whole world will gang up against China. So I feel that is a temporary issue. So don't get too overexcited. Auto ancillary will do well. Real estate proxy will do well. NBFCs will do well. Consumption will do well. I'm looking at proxy ka bhi proxy. For example, like you're saying AC and TV will go. I'm looking at PGEL, who manufactures the AC, and I'm looking at V2 Retail and all of that, who was actually selling this AC at local stores, right? So I'm looking at that deeper level. I'm not looking at the bigger players. I'm going 2-3 steps down and trying to understand a little bit more about the market. So these are some of the sectors. And yes, your platform. So if people get more money in their hand because of consumption going up, people will do only 2 things in their life. What do? If I have more money, if I have 100 rupees extra with the tax saving and all that has kicked in, I will spend or I will invest. Correct? I will spend or I will invest. Spending to I will do because मेरे को अच्छा लगता है spend करना, so I will spend. But I will also invest because I'm not an idiot, and we will invest. Even if it's 10,000 rupees, we will invest. 5,000 rupees, we will invest. So I believe that the wealth management industry and the AMC industry will also do really well because your SIPs will now go up automatically because of the new new tax rates that have come up. Don't forget about the tax rate that came out in April, right? 1 lakh rupees, you're saving 10,000 rupees, all of you, I know. Right? So all of you guys who are saving that 10,000 rupees, don't go eat some bhaji pav somewhere else or buy some pakoda and increase your calorie and cholesterol, right? Save that money and stop watching Warren Buffett reels. In fact, start focusing on how to become like him, right? I know so many people who are sitting and watching Warren Buffett reels and dusra haath mein vada pav they're eating, right? It doesn't work that way. You're spending almost 15-20 rupees for vada pav right now. Start slowly focusing on that extra income. How do I put it back into my SIPs? How do I find good companies? If you cannot find good companies, please do mutual fund investing. There is no harm in doing mutual fund investing. I'm not that kind of a person who says stocks mein hi dalo, right? A lot of people cannot stomach stocks. They cannot take the loss of stocks, right? You can stomach roadside pani puri, but you will not be able to stomach 10% loss in your portfolio. And that is what's happening with a lot of people who have bought Varun Beverages right now. 10% नीचे गया, सबका BP high हो गया. नहीं होता ऐसा, right? उसका his business has not gone down 10%. Only stock price has gone down. So relax, chill out. If for all the people who are making more money, go buy some gold for your wife or your girlfriend. Don't buy diamonds. It's getting useless. But go buy some gold for them, right? Go buy some gold for your mother, but keep it in your locker. So at least go invest in some good, valuable assets, and do not spend it in liabilities, which are your cars, right? Go buy. Even if you want to buy real estate, please go buy real estate because next 2-3 years, real estate will start booming also. And then don't come later after 5 years and say, you guys told me never buy real estate. Now real estate is so expensive, I can't even buy 1 BHK. Then you will come back into that zone. So as I'm saying, right, I know it's fun and games, but please be very, very, very careful about this next 2 years. Again, I'm telling you this again, right? Next 3 years is going to be a good moment for people who want to earn money. If you are in the right place at the right time, you will make money. I am positioning myself to be in the right place at the right time, right? I am upskilling myself to understand more. I'm getting my registration, which is taking me 6 months to get it, but I'm getting it. I am trying to upskill myself to become a better manager, better fund manager, to become a better investor. I'm learning day by day. Nobody is the best investor till date, right? So I'm learning. I suggest you guys also start doing the same thing. Keep learning. And if you cannot do stock investing, don't do mutual fund investing. Buy one mid cap, one small cap, one flexi cap, one index fund. Don't buy large cap because then the overlap will be too much. One index fund, one mid cap fund, one small cap fund, go with higher AUM, don't get greedy again, and one flexi cap fund. Bus 4 fund leke baith jao, 10-15 saal do SIP, nothing's gonna be a problem, right? But next 3 years, your bosses will make a lot of money. If you're a boss, good job. If you are an employee, go ask your boss for more money, right? But in the end, make more money and don't spend it on sushi. Okay, chalo guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Did you guys like this episode today? I know we went little over time, 42 minutes, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys like this. I enjoy it. I love coming here, sitting with you guys for 30-40 minutes on the weekend and just chill and talk to you guys and look at what's happening in the market, because every week something's happening in the market. It's like kisi ne India pe what do you call that, bad nazar they call it, no, they put kali nazar. I think someone has put that to India, that every time we feel that our Indian Nifty wants to go up and make all-time high, somebody comes and says, Ruk ja, wait, come down. I'm putting one more problem to you. My God, it would be very difficult to be in the boss man's shoes. But yeah, India is going through a very transitional phase. But I feel in the next 3-4 years, I think we've set so many systems in play right now. Our defense is becoming stronger. Our rare earth minerals will start becoming stronger. Our auto ancillary is becoming stronger. Our pharma sector has already become stronger. So I think slowly and surely, maza aayega India mein rehne ko. Okay. Chalo, this is me, Shashank Godapa, signing off, guys. I will see you guys next week. Maybe I will see you guys next week again. And thank you, guys. Bye bye. Take care.